First, I want to congratulate Cardinal Robert Prevost for becoming the first American Pope. Um, I think it comes into a time when Americans are facing a crisis of a president who is not acting like an American president at this point. But I have to say, our Pope will hopefully bring a new chapter toward America. And I have to say, and kudos to a new Pope Leo XIV for distancing himself from Trump at this point. And I have to say, Americans have been distancing from themselves from Trump as well, because we have to show the world that Americans hate Trump as much as you do. And that I think we could, and I have to say, the courage is for him to distance himself from Trump's action here. Look, I have to say, we Americans have a new opportunity to show the world that we care about the citizens of other countries, that his short-minded terrorists against other countries are doing nothing but making it hard for our people at home. For what? Well, we have a so-called agreement of the United Kingdom about the trade, but I'm not sure what the agreement is all about here. But I don't trust what the agreement is, because Trump is so self-centered, as only as to satisfy his inner circle. But I have to say, we need to show the world that, we are not a self-centered nation. We are a nation that cares and gladly trades with and works together with fellow nations who believes in the world of, everyone's human rights. And I gotta say that that freedom is not exclusive to America. I mean, everyone needs to be free. Even Russians need to be free. Matter of fact, I count on us Russian citizens to overthrow Putin, and just as Russians don't want this war to continue. They're more interested, and I have to say, a lot of the Russians are more interested in trades and living side by side with Ukrainians. And I have to say, it's the end off of here. And I have to say, but I've got to say, Crimea belongs to Ukraine, and Ukraine didn't start the war. Russia did, or Putin did, and Russia protested, but risking arrest. But they protested because they don't want the war. And just like we're not interested in Canada becoming the 51st state. Matter of fact, Trump doesn't understand the process here. I mean, only Canada can vote first for statehood. Canada has to vote first, and it's up to Canada to sell the country, and we know that Canada's not for sale. And Canada is an ally. We're side by side. Americans view Canada side by side here of Canada. But I do agree, with China cheating us, the terrorists but I have to say there is a better way of doing this, that we can get China to be more fair to the United States without these disruptions of goods to them in the United States here. But I gotta say, once again, congratulations to Pope Leo XIV, formerly Robert. Cardinal Robert of Michigan, and so I think it's a very good time for Americans and we are rising up to Trump's actions, and so yeah, and I'm not interested in, and I will always call the Gulf of Mexico. I have to say, there's more important stuff for the Congress to do to vote in Gulf America, but I'm not interested in Gulf America. I'll always call it the Gulf of Mexico. I think Congress should set the bill, shielding small businesses and giving the poor middle class, the lower middle classes, the tools that they can here to succeed.